A brief history of philosophy, from ancient wisdom to modern thought. Introduction. The history of philosophy is one of humanity's most profound intellectual journeys. This millennia-long odyssey can be primarily examined by dividing it into distinct periods and schools of thought, each grappling with fundamental questions about existence, knowledge, ethics, and the human condition. 1. Ancient Greek philosophy, 6th century BCE, 2nd century CE. The foundations of Western philosophy were laid in ancient Greece. Philosophers of this era sought rational answers to questions such as, what is the primary substance of the universe and nature, and what is the purpose of human life? Pre-Socratic philosophers, natural philosophers. This period, considered the beginning of philosophy, saw thinkers investigating the fundamental element of the universe. Thales posited water, Anaximenes air, while Heraclitus argued that everything is in a constant state of flux. Classical Greek philosophy, known as the Golden Age of philosophy, the focus shifted from nature to humanity, from politics to ethics. Socrates, famous for his maxim, "The unexamined life is not worth living." He advocated for questioning knowledge through his method of inquiry, Socratic dialogue. He left no written works himself. Plato, a student of Socrates, through his theory of forms, he proposed that the true reality of objects lies not in the senses, but in the world of forms, grasped by reason. Aristotle, a student of Plato and one of the most influential philosophers in Western thought. He worked in many fields, including logic, ethics, politics, and biology. He diverged from his teacher Plato by asserting that universals exist within particulars. 2. Medieval philosophy, 2nd century CE, 15th century CE. During this period, philosophy became subservient to religion, primarily focusing on the relationship between faith and reason. The main goal was to provide rational foundations for religious doctrines. Christian philosophy. Philosophers like St. Augustine and St. Thomas Aquinas used philosophical arguments to defend Christian beliefs. They focused on topics such as the existence of God and the immortality of the soul. Islamic philosophy preserved and developed ancient Greek philosophy, serving as a bridge for its transmission to the West. Thinkers such as Al-Farabi, Avicenna, Ibn Sina, and Averroes, Ibn Rushd, made significant contributions, especially through their commentaries on Aristotle's works. 3. Renaissance and early modern philosophy, 15th century, 18th century. In this era, humanity, reason, and science came to the forefront. Scholastic thought was abandoned, laying the groundwork for a new age. Descartes, considered the founder of modern philosophy with his famous statement, "I think, therefore I am." He aimed to achieve certain knowledge by starting from doubt. Rationalists and empiricists, two main schools of thought, emerged regarding the method of acquiring knowledge. Rationalists, thinkers like Descartes, Spinoza, and Leibniz, argued that the source of knowledge is reason. Empiricists, philosophers such as John Locke, David Hume, and Francis Bacon maintained that knowledge could only be obtained through sensory experience and observation. 4. Enlightenment philosophy, 18th century. This period centered on concepts such as reason, liberty, and individual rights. Scientific progress and social reforms were the most prominent features of this era. Immanuel Kant synthesized rationalism and empiricism. He is one of the figures who best summarized the spirit of the era with his statement, "Enlightenment is man's emergence from his self-imposed immaturity." Jean-Jacques Rousseau, his ideas on the social contract and natural rights inspired the French Revolution. 5. Contemporary philosophy, 19th century, present. This period began with critiques of the absolute dominance of reason brought forth by modern philosophy and encompasses many diverse movements. Existentialism. Philosophers like Søren Kierkegaard and Jean-Paul Sartre questioned individual freedom, choices, and the meaning of existence. Pragmatism. Thinkers such as William James and John Dewey evaluated the truth of an idea based on its practical consequences. Postmodernism. rejects the universal knowledge claims of modern philosophy. Philosophers like Michel Foucault and Jacques Derrida critiqued modern institutions and values by examining the relationship between knowledge and power.